people, what's up? I'd like to talk about some things that I was thinking about due to some things that I've been studying and really giving a lot of thought to and trying to really understand and wrap my head around. First of all, I'd like to say that I really love women a lot and respect them and cherish them. And this little segment is going to be I'm going to talk about sex. So, I would like to talk about the things that I've learned, first of all, about sex and the difference between women and men as I've been from going from a young teenager to a man. From the day one that we are trained in how we go to school and how we interact, the male and the female, well, we're taught very differently. I'll tell you a little story that I used to tell my girlfriends back in high school because it's things that I saw and I would always learn by watching. A wise person learns by other people's mistakes, but even a wiser person learns by watching other people's mistakes so he doesn't repeat them. So here's a little story. We have Janie and Tom. Janie and Tom are in junior high, and they go to their first junior high school party. And Janie likes Tom, and Tom's been saying things about Janie for weeks, and finally they get to this party, and Janie's this really pretty girl, plays with dolls, has a really good family, her parents shelter her, and she always wants to believe that, guys are good and she'll meet that Prince Charming. So she has this image that, Tom is this, great guy, captain of the football team, every girl's dream, everybody likes him, and he likes her. But Tom's never, seen breasts or kissed a girl or had any sex. He's just always heard about it from his older brothers or his other friends that have, and they've been pressuring him. So, Tom has a few drinks. Janie has a few drinks. They're all pressured by everybody. They get together at the party, and so they do. They go to a bedroom. Janie's scared. Tom has been waiting for this and starts kissing Janie and feeling on her and this and this and this. You know how it goes, ladies, men. So then Janie gets scared because they're progressing too fast, and Tom was told by a friend that, always say these words to a girl. They always want to hear these words. I'll never leave you. I want you. I love you. I'll always be here. And anyone, Because, guys told me these things in high school, older guys, and these are tricks that supposedly get women to do what you want. It's bullshit. So then Janie's been waiting to hear these words from somebody all her life. And so, she has sex with Tom. Or maybe she doesn't. Who knows? Maybe Tom forced her after she said no. There's a billion different scenarios. All of them have happened in somebody's reality. But it all starts like this. So regardless of what happened the next day in school, if they didn't have sex, it doesn't really matter because it's going to go around and Tom's the big man and Tom's not going to admit that he didn't have sex. He's going to make up stories. And if he did have sex, he's going to be the big man and everybody's, oh, right, finally, and it's going to be this big hoopla every time he sees the boys in school. And this is how it goes. But then on the other side of Janie, if she, the girls and all the other girls that are jealous of her and this and whatever, she's a pretty girl, she has really looked up to. Everybody knows her. So then they're gonna call her a hoe. They're gonna call her this or this. That's if she's not with the popular crowd, like popular girls that do this with the popular boys. Then everybody's gonna be like, oh, okay, she's in. But if she didn't have sex with Tom, and Tom was going around saying, oh, I did have sex and they didn't, doesn't matter. She's not in with the in crowd because the in girls, she tells them, oh, you're lying, you're out, blah, 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 and then she's called a hoe. This is programmed conditional thinking from when we are kids, when we really shouldn't even be having sex. Junior high, you're like, what, 13, 14, 15? You're still developing your body mentally and physically and all these things. These are kids. But I can honestly ask you, when did you lose your virginity? Well, I can tell you I lost mine when I was just like, 16, 17? I was still a kid. And it was pathetic. I'll honestly say it was really pathetic. And me and the girl were pressured into it by her friends. And it was just the worst thing I've heard. So, the reason why I'm talking about this, because I'm going to get into another subject that has a lot to do with sex and manipulation and mind control. I'm telling you this story so to paint a picture to show you how the conditioning has started with us as children and with our parents, it's all the same. So all cliquish, all things that that are in. Well, there's something that I want you to understand, that Operation Black Desk, that is the study of the Afro American race by the CIA and the FBI. It's called Operation Black Desk. They know more about the Afro American race and Afro Americans and Afro culture than us, because they actually study it like a science. Why? Well, two big reasons. They want to know about control. How to control people. Okay, so there used to be a saying back in the day, and for you young people, you might not remember this, but for you older people, everybody wants to be like Mike. Remember that? Michael Jordan? Everybody wants to be like that Afro-American man. Everybody wants to be hip-hop when it was the new craze. Everybody wants to be a rapper when it was that new Afro-American thing leading the way, the in thing. Operation Black Desk, and I'll post the video up under here so you can actually see it. They say there's one specific thing that really resonated with me. They said black people. I don't like to use black people because there's no black people. Technically, in the artistic term, black is a shade. It's used for shadowing and darkening colors. It's a shade. It's not a color. So if I say I'm black, that's saying I'm actually something that seems like it's there, but it's not, or the darkness of night. I mean, it's a shade. Same as white, it's a shade. It's not a color. So when I say Afro American, I want you to understand that they knew that they could get the Afro American public to fall for anything. How? All they have to do is say it's the in thing. And that's it. If they think it's the in thing, the cool thing, the thing that is, like Coke is it, everybody goes for it. Like in fashion. What's the new color? Okay, they all get together. The new pink is orange. The new orange is yellow. I mean, who sets these things? Who puts these things out into the corporate media world for sale? Who decides this stuff? A handful of specific, rich, elite, Nazi, Luciferian witches decide this. Who runs the FBI and the CIA? They lost control of their own organizations a long time ago. These people are based specifically on control of the human race. Now, when you get into music, who does the best music? Or who is, thought to make the best music? Well, I'll give you some facts. Who started house music? Came out of Detroit, came out of techno. Juan Atkins, Derek May, they're black. It got exposed into Europe when they did a remix of Depeche Mode. So no, Germans, you did not create techno. No matter how many of you believe that bullshit, it's not true. When you get into rock and roll, where did that come from? Well, Jimi Hendrix, when he was playing on the Chitlin circuit in Texas, was playing blues. Where does blues come from? Bluegrass and all of those Afro American slaves. Blues. Why I got the blues? Because I'm a slave. Where did Elvis Presley learn his moves from and learn how to play a guitar? Afro American. And he learned to swing his hips by watching people, Afro American people, gather when they weren't working. And he watched them dance. Little Elvis Presley. And these were very much same gatherings like the Chitlin circuit that Jimi Hendrix played before any of you knew who he was. Before he went over to the UK and dropped acid and blew up and revolutionized rock and roll. Still to this day, there's nobody better than him. I don't care what anybody says. Rock and roll came from Chuck Berry, not the Beatles. The Beatles learned everything that they knew by listening to these black musicians. Led Zeppelin didn't revolutionize rock and roll. Led Zeppelin plays reggae, blues, and soul riffs mixed with psychedelics. So if you don't know the history about the Afro-American culture and music and how they lie and twist things, I'm a DJ, I'm a musician. I'm very proud of my heritage. So the reason why I'm expressing this is because everyone knows how hand in hand music and sex go. I mean, when you're in the club filled with your booze and they put on, Neptunes, it's getting hot in here. I want to take off all my clothes. I am getting so hot, I'm going to take my clothes off. Sex. So then when you get into sex and the stereotypes about the Afro-American men, I'm not going to even get into how many there are and what we do. The simple fact is we're an Afro culture, and naturally our culture, from our roots, respect women. This is something that's inbred in us throughout all of our culture. But when you get into the hip hop and the rap, it's a big difference. Rap is about disrespect. Disrespect to women, disrespect to yourself, disrespect to the culture. It doesn't elevate anything but the person and the producer making those beats getting paid, and that's it. So then when you get into hip hop, it used to educate, used to elevate, it used to bring people together, it used to be a really big movement. But due to ruckus, if you don't know the history of ruckus that started Mos Def and Talib Kweli, in my opinion, they were the last breath of real hip hop, Black Star. Well, Rupert Murdoch's son started ruckus in New York. Started the Lyricist Lounge in New York. Rupert Murdoch's son. How can a man's son that owns like 70% of all the TV networks start the most underground hip hop and then, excuse me, the most underground hip hop label, and then Rupert Murdoch's son basically sells this label to BMI, and then boom, all those guys are gone. A few of them got murdered. That's how it is. Most definitely doing movies. Talib Kweli went back underground. Has Black Star released another album? No. Where is hip hop? It sucks. You got people like, what is that? Got Rick Ross, the fake Rick Ross, who is actually been proven to be a fucking cop, an ex-cop, taking the name of the biggest cocaine drug dealer that was working with the CIA, the real Rick Ross in LA. But people look up to this fat fucking cop and think that, that's hip hop now. My whole point is, can you see how the CIA and FBI have twisted Afro American culture, sex, and music? It is about control. It's about control of you and your mind. Now, let me point out one specific thing for all you Madonna fans. The bitch is wicked. Now listen, I'm gonna prove it to you, and then you can go tell this to anybody who's ever listened to this song. It's like a prayer. I'm gonna break it down to you. I was in the grocery store the other day in my neighborhood. It's an all black and Mexican neighborhood, and they're playing Like a Prayer, and you just listen to watching everybody shop and hearing all the black people sing gospel music and say, "It's like a prayer, I'll take you there." And gospel people saying this. It's like a prayer, I'll take you there. It's like a dream to me. Okay, there is nothing like a prayer. It's either a prayer or it is not. What is the opposite of a prayer? A prayer is positive. A prayer is something that is offered up to God. What is the opposite of that? When you do the opposite of that, it's an incantation and it's an offering up to Lucifer. So in the song, It's Like a Prayer, she says exactly, it's like a prayer. There's nothing like a prayer. That's a prayer, it's not. But then you have the witch, Luciferian Freemason Madonna saying, "In the midnight hour, I can feel your power." Now, who does things in the midnight hour? Not people that believe in Christ and God. Don't get together at 12 o'clock. At 12 o'clock, most people are asleep, maybe having sex, or if you're a witch, doing incantations. 12 o'clock, midnight hour. I know on Hallows Eve, this is when they do their bewitching power. Madonna, It's Like a Prayer. She puts tons of incantations in her music. If you doubt me, go download the lyrical sheets to all of the songs in Ray of Light and read it. That was the biggest Luciferian album that the Illuminati had ever released. And guess who kicked it in the trash. Madonna's Ray of Light. And where is this woman today? Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill beat that Wicked album into the gutter. She took all the awards the same year Ray of Light was released. They went after Lauryn Hill, prosecuted her, executed her, said everything about her after she put Ray of Light into the trash. With her album. Because she was talking about God. That album was the most spiritual album since Bob Marley released an album. Biblically speaking. Lyrically speaking. Quoting text from the Bible. Talking about biblical stories. Lauryn Hill's first album. Released the same year as Ray of Light. And now where is she? Last time I saw her, she was crying on MTV. So, I hope I've helped you understand how diabolical, how wicked the Central Intelligence, FBI, and Operation Black Death is to musicians. Because of our oversexed bullshit connotations. No, music moves the spirit. The natural spirit of who we are. We are a race of beings that love to create. We were made to reproduce and become better and stronger. Now, the thing is, with these witches and Luciferians and Nazis, these 13 bloodlines, they're all inbred. They're all fucking each other. And it's sick. And they're wondering, how is the Afro American race or say the Latino race or any one that's closer to brown than pink or tan, better at doing this and this than us? Well, let me point out one thing. Inbreeding. Scientifically speaking, when you marry your third or fourth or fifth or sixth cousin, you destroy your race. You destroy your breed, your seed. This is why the 13 bloodlines are so diabolical, sick, twisted, and just power hungry and just absolutely fucking psychotic. They did it to themselves, and they're so jealous of what they made. What did they make? They made me. I'm proud to be a descendant of a slave from two sides, Haitian Jamaican slaves and royal slaves. What I mean by royal slaves is slaves that took apprenticeships, that were ex-royalty that came over to the United States to control the slave trade. They did to them too. Mixed with sovereign blood. They made us. They mixed us. And now they can't handle us and they make propaganda against us because they are so jealous and wish to control us. And they did this. And now they still consider us their cattle, their property. I want people to really understand and get the big picture of what's going on throughout all cultures. Whether they be Chinese, Afro, Japanese, Indian, urban. Not this bullshit what they call European. What is European? Last time I was over in Europe, I was in Paris, and they treated black people really bad. But then when I know about French history, the Moors actually owned France. Because I dug up Nubian more fossilized rocks from a fishing village. I'll say a fishing village because that's technically what it is, right in the center of Paris, where the Bastille used to sit. I dug up Aboriginal fossilized rocks there that were fishing and hunting rocks. So that proves that there were Aboriginal French. So now you understand why there are those curly haired, short, light-eyed, dark-skinned French. But then the Nazis and the Rothschilds came along and just fucked all that shit up and rewrote history about France. So no one will really understand about the Afrocentric, beautiful culture of the French. Everyone will just go and see, the Rothschilds' bullshit mansions. And look at all the Republic crap in Paris. And look at all the demonic statues in Paris. That this European culture came along and just stomped on the original Aboriginal French culture. This is what Europe has done throughout the world with these 13 bloodlines. And they continue to do it through music, through history, through everything we know and read. They change if they don't like. Just like the Nazis and their book burnings. Now I'd like to bring your attention to something that I found very disturbing. I did a little reading about it, and this is it's really about sex. Now, I'd like to tell you a story that my old girlfriend, was a ballerina, was bulimic, and it was the most difficult relationship I'd ever been through. It taught me the most about women that I've ever learned, about what they do to women's psyches, what they do to women to literally force them to think that they're ugly when they're beautiful. I mean, this woman that I dated for about a year, every day she came home, I would cook, made sure the house was clean, and still, sometimes after coming home from LA, she would just cry. And she was trying to hide her sickness from me. I always knew because one of her other dancer friends told me that she was like this. She tried to discourage me from getting with her. And that in itself was pretty fucked up. But I really decided I wanted to help her. One of the techniques, strongly urge you men, if you love women, you really care about the woman that you're with, you learn this. Because I know it. It took some time. It took a lot of reading and watching videos. Now, ladies, on their bodies, women, they absorb energy. By nature, they absorb everything. This is how they're made. This is why they can handle pain. This is why they carry around so much with them. Now, ladies, you can go on your bodies and find these bumps. You can prove to yourself that I'm not full of shit, that I know what I'm talking about. Now, there's a specific form of massage that you can give your loved one, your lady, to really help her release all of this built up energy. And these massages sometimes take up to 2 hours. You have to really love and care for female body. Now, under your armpits, under your breast, around your labia and above, you'll find, ladies, if you're really stressed, you'll find these little bumps. You have to press a little bit hard to look for them. You'll find these little bumps. Every woman has them. What these bumps are built up stress because women bury their stress and bury these things inside them. And when I learned about this, and when I learned about these techniques, I used this to help my girlfriend. And unfortunately, I was only able to use it once or twice when her parents broke us up. Because they got pissed off because I was paying for her to go see a psychologist so she could really learn where the bulimia started, who was the culprits, and the psychiatrist proved her it was her mom, psychotic mom, used to beat her with a spoon and take her to birthday parties and not let her even eat a piece of cake. That's crazy, to be a kid like that. So then her parents found out and broke us up. But I do remember when I really started to learn about these sessions and how to really help a woman release all of this stress. Now, a woman can have multiple orgasms. Like, she can have, I don't know, my record is 10. She can have more than that in a specific session of massage or sex or whatever you want to call it. It's extremely beautiful to see a woman after this because this is when you really see a woman really beautiful because of her energy and she actually really shines. Now, after I started to do this with my girlfriend, I'll never forget what she said to me afterwards because she had never had such a release. She had never felt such peace. And after it ended, she got mad. And she said, "God, I hate you, but I love you." I said, "Huh?" She's like, "You took me to heaven and now I'm back here in this shit." She said those words, I just looked at her, and I understood with all my being, and I felt, I wish I could keep her at this level of energy. And it's very difficult for women to maintain, but it is very possible through practice and letting go of pain and other things. Because women carry a lot of things around with them because they absorb energy. Men, we don't absorb energy. We put it out. This is why the male body is designed. This is why we have a penis, like an antenna. We omit energy. We inject the sperm into the egg. We put energy out. Women absorb. Women take in, sperm into the egg, and then they give birth. It's how we're made. So once you really understand these concepts and how they really truthfully work and how we're really made to be as beings, as two halves separated, and to create a one as a child, is the most beautiful, most incredible thing. But unfortunately, most men don't care, and most women, they don't give a second thought to this, and they just go around carrying around a lot of things and beating themselves up more than men mentally. And then men come along and do it physically because they're conditioned and trained and programmed to do it, and women are conditioned and trained and programmed to take it. So I'm going to get on something far-fetched now that I've explained to you, a little bit of my studies and what I've gathered. This is going to be kind of far-fetched, but I'm going to go into UFOs now. Alien abductions. First, I'd like to explain to you, UFO abductions didn't really start taking off until the Nazis. came over to the United States under Operation Paperclip. No one really, the kidnapping scenario really didn't happen until they got here. If you don't know that the Nazis perfected vertical lift and basically made a UFO. It's a UFO, unidentified flying object. Doesn't have anything to do with aliens, people. But unfortunately, with the trick of words and trick of technology and TV, they convince you that unidentified flying objects are automatically aliens. Well, I'm here to tell you that no, it's not. Because honestly, I mean, point out one specific thing. Why the fuck would aliens reveal themselves when they can be in outer space, out of our sight, out of our range, and be able to beam themselves down to Earth, or beam themselves up, or be teleported anywhere? Why would they be flying around the United States? Yeah, we're watching that. This is like, kind of like men throwing their balls out. If you're an advanced race of benevolent beings, you don't do this. You don't interfere unless it's absolutely detrimental. You don't reveal yourself to people without having a specific goal, not leading them with all of these things to think, maybe this, maybe this. Don't do these things. Because it's just a head fuck, and it is manipulation of the mind. Nazis. Now, strong words, I'll post videos up under here on the Bell Project. The Nazi Bell. Read it. Read how Nazi scientists affected vertical lift through magnetic currency. So then when we brought these Nazi fucks to the United States, they started kidnapping women and kids. Now, what I'm about to expose is very disturbing, but it makes sense. Now, everyone's heard the rumors the Nazis were faggots, Hitler was a faggot, they were really bent on the boys' club, Freemasons boys' club. Okay? So in Project Montauk, and Andy Perot's story, and Project Phoenix, there's a lot of emphasis on men and boys. Now in Project Montauk, and in Andy Perot's story, they reveal two specific details about sex. In Andy Perot's story, he gets very specific that in Project Montauk, in their Nazi experimentations, they use men. And the reason why is because they learn that they can inject subliminal messages into your psyche during orgasm. And this was easiest to achieve through homosexual acts, meaning that kind of anal orgasm they could prolong to input subliminal messaging, ultimately control. So this is why, I guess the Nazis, faggots, pedophiles, even the priest, like little boys. So let me say it again, at the point of orgasm, we are subject and most highly prone to subliminal manipulation and control. Because we are open. You have an orgasm, you're completely open. You're like, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Anyone that knows that this is true. Because people spend 20 minutes and the average 4 minutes trying to get to this. So in the Montauk program, they expose that they need to last so they can have time to input programming. And Andy Perot says this. So now, I'd like to paint a big picture of what made this documentary. Now, today, has anybody heard of aliens coming and kidnapping people and doing anal probing? Yeah. Now I see the big picture that I got when I really was just like, boom, epiphany. So, let me tell you, Hollywood, these stupid, people that believe in these bug-eyed demons, is come from another world to kidnap us, to chop up our cattle, stick probes up our ass, and microchip us and put chips under our skin so they can keep track of us. These are stories that Hollywood, all these alien fucks that believe these guys are coming and they come in peace, they put pictures of these big bug-eyed grays that think these guys are benevolent and here to help us. Tell you the truth. These grays are hybrids of demonic DNA mixed with the 13 bloodlines DNA mixed with the best of the human race DNA. Grays. They're not aliens. If you know about Dolce and all the experimentation, Nazi experimentation that is going on there, I race, intelligent race, come and do this to us, especially when it's been documented that aliens were here thousands and thousands of years ago. Now, all you stupid people, I heard something that really pissed me off. Some guy sent an email to me telling me not to sign the One People's Public Trust. He sent me this video that these stupid people are actually saying, oh, okay, well, where is the okay by the Galactic Federation of Light? Okay, people, if you don't know about the Galactic Federation of Light, explain it to you in a nutshell. No aliens exist. You know the aliens know about your evil shit. You know, it's only going to be a matter of time before they come. When they do come, they're going to take your evil ass out. That's without a doubt. Also, the Galactic Federation of Light. The Galactic Federation of Light consists of Pleiades, consists of a lot of draconians, all the evil motherfuckers that have allowed experimentation to prolong their own way of being, because the word is they're inbred. They cut off their ability to feel emotions, and through DNA manipulation and genetics try to become this perfect race. They end up killing themselves because they isolated what they thought they needed. So they're dying, saying yes to live. Well, excuse me, 13 bloodlines. Die. I don't need you to live. I don't need you to erect bullshit things like the Galactic Federation of Light to make all these New Agers. And yes, the Nazis started the New Age occultism. If you don't know about Reiki and mind control, that's all it is. They started all of this to give people a feeling of benevolence and they're in touch with something. Why are these aliens kidnapping you and put a fucking microchip in your head when they're supposed to be telepathic? Microchip in your head to inject messages in your head. Maybe they download a lot of shit into your head every time you have an orgasm. Boom. Bites of shit and a couple of kids you don't even know. I mean, wake up to what they've been doing, these Nazis. Kidnapping people, taking people, and brainwashing them, and telling them what they think they see. And then people are put back in their beds in their homes by the men in black. Brainwashed. They don't remember a thing. I don't know where I was. I lost time. I lost this and this. Clue to what it is, people. It's wicked. So when the real aliens come that don't have contact with us, that have been watching, and it's the Draconians and the Pleiades and all these wicked beasts come here, etc. This oh, we like to play. That's the Pleiades. Oh, we like to play. Everything's so playful. Yeah, it's really a game when you're kidnapping our kids. The amount of children that are being kidnapped from the time the Nazis got this technology, and the amount of women and children that are in the underground bases, disclosed in cages, just taken away and never see them. The amount of kids that come up and sing on the streets that nobody misses. The amount of women that are taken through the female cartel and end up in brothels, prostitutions, and then underground bases for experimentations or carry hybrid clothes. This is what's going on. And it's all about us and our sexual reproduction. They study us as Nazis and they have it down to a science of controlling us even when we have something so precious, say as a freaking orgasm. I'd like to thank you for your time. It's food for thought. Some things I put together. You can think what you want. I'm telling you what I think, and at least I'm putting it out there. It's a lot less I can say for most people that keep their ideas in and are afraid to talk and afraid to, oh, I can't say that because my friends maybe think I'm crazy. Well, fuck your friends. Stand up for yourself and what you believe. You might be right. That's the problem with Americans. They're so quick to, that's not in. Oh, did TV say anything like this? Everybody's waiting to hear about the Pope and why he's really, got kicked out, why he's gonna go to jail. Little boys. The case about the Queen of England, war crimes, Obama, war crimes, expecting to see this on TV. People, the 13 evilized bloods on the TV is the last thing you are going to hear and see on TV. I am Zakaos, Zakaos, a poet, a dreamer, a lover. Thank you for your time. Hope I gave you some things to think about. Ladies, respect yourself. Men, respect yourself and respect the women. If you don't, fuck you. It's like that. Because if you are disrespectful of your own race and people and hatred and hater of your own race, guess what? Your time and people like you are going to even be able to stay in the same room with us because we are vibrating higher and higher positive frequencies. We're Generation X, children of the light. We're the ones in those missing pages of Revelations, because we are the revolution that the Catholic Church is known about, and the some scrolls that talk about us in the old Pope, not the one that just got kicked out, the old one, talked about this, talked about the unpublished pages of Revelations. I'd like to leave you with this. No man has the right to hide God's knowledge. No man has the right to change the words of Christ. No man has the right to take literally his hand and put it over the eyes of the ones who want and wish to truly seek God's love with all of his or her heart. No man has the right every year to change the words of God that they do in the New World Translations of the King James. Every year they change it to suit them. Who gave them the right to do this? Who gave them the right to go around the world and confiscate everything about Christ and then put it in a vault in the Roman Catholic Church, and only 8 men can look at these scrolls? And if anyone else looks at any of the stuff in this vault, is punishable by death? Who gave men the right to do this? Jesuits? study the history of the Jesuits and the blood oath. And in his words, I do nothing in secret. Why does he do nothing in secret? Because he's the great teacher. Everything I do, I want you to know and learn so you can become more than I am. So you can turn around and teach me and teach your offspring so they can become more than you. I don't see any prophet or any pope or anyone walking on water, healing people, or doing 95% of the things he did. There's people that claim to, people that claim they saw it. Sorry, I didn't see nothing. So scientifically speaking, what does it say? Actually, we are not following his words by the doctrine. They are not following his words for 1,000 years that the beast was allowed to enter God's domain and his church to tempt God's people away from me. Understand the beast, the face of the beast, and the face of absolute ludicrous lies. These are facts, people. And I'm pointing them out to you so you can see and let these bullshit demons out of your life and feel good about yourself and understand that once we understand that we were all here to heal each other, to love each other, and to lift each other up, and to learn like he did, so our kids will be even more than us. We will be living in a heaven on earth. This is where we're headed. First, we have to expose the lies so people can understand what's going on. That's why I'm doing this. Thank you for your time. Have a good day. Love and light. To all the ladies in my life, thank you. To the love of my life, I love you. I'll see each and every one of you. Peace.